Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the tangled mess of secrets, betrayals, and power plays that are rocking Port Charles. If you thought last week was intense, buckle up, because the fallout from hidden truths and buried alliances is about to send shockwaves through every relationship, every friendship, and every long-held assumption. Today, we're peeling back the layers, connecting the dots, and examining the ramifications of the latest bombshells. Let's get started. Lulu's pursuit of the truth, a reckoning in the making. Lulu has always been a force to be reckoned with when it comes to uncovering the truth. She doesn't take deception lightly, and once she gets a whiff of a secret, she is relentless in tracking it down. That's exactly what's happening now. Armed with new information about Brooke Lynn's secret child, and the jaw-dropping revelation that Dante is the father, Lulu is on a mission, and she won't stop until she gets the full picture. But here's where things get even more complicated. Who does Lulu turn to? Cody. Why him? Because if there's anyone who might know the full extent of what happened back then, it's him. He's been around Dante for years, seen the highs and lows, and might just hold a few missing pieces of this puzzle. But what if Cody knew all along? What if he's been keeping this from Dante? The possibility of betrayal looms large, and Lulu is not the kind of person to forgive easily. And there's another angle to consider. How will Dante react when he inevitably finds out Lulu has been digging around behind his back? If she's the one who delivers the truth to him instead of Brooke Lynn, this could redefine their relationship forever. Trust is fragile in Port Charles, and one wrong move could shatter it completely. Carly and Brennan. A love story on the edge of disaster? Carly and Brennan have been trying to carve out a space for their relationship, but let's be honest. Peace and quiet aren't exactly in the cards for them. Every single time they get close, something or someone gets in the way. Is it fate? Bad luck? Or is something deeper at play? Their Wednesday night date is no exception. This time, the interruption isn't just inconvenient. It's a warning. A subtle underlying message that their happiness might always be just out of reach. But why? Is someone deliberately ensuring that they never get a moment alone? Or is Carly unknowingly caught in a web that's about to pull her into even deeper trouble? Brennan, on the other hand, seems calm on the surface, but how long will that last? If these constant interruptions are more than coincidence, will he eventually lose patience? And what does that mean for their future? If they can't have a single night of peace, how are they supposed to build something real? Anna's investigation. A murder mystery with unforeseen consequences. Anna is no stranger to solving high-stakes cases, but this one is different. The deeper she digs into Cyrus' murder, the more tangled the case becomes. What started as a seemingly straightforward investigation has turned into something much darker, much more personal. The suspects aren't just criminals, they're people with connections, power, and most importantly, secrets they will do anything to keep hidden. But even amidst the intensity of her work, Anna finds time for something personal. A private conversation with Felicia. But why now? What does Anna need to confide in her about? Could this be about Emma, Jason, or something else entirely? Felicia, ever the voice of reason, will likely offer Anna perspective, but will it be enough? Anna is under more pressure than she lets on, and there's a very real possibility that she's about to stumble upon something that changes everything. Not just in the murder case, but in her own life. Could the case be connected to something much bigger than she originally thought? And if so, what does that mean for her safety? Portia's career on the line. A game of power and leverage. Portia has worked too hard to see her career crumble. But right now, it's hanging by a thread. The reason? Brad. Or more specifically, Brad and his ever-calculating aunt Selena Wu. With the leverage Brad has over her, she is backed into a corner, forced to make choices that go against everything she's worked for. But here's the real dilemma. This isn't just about her. If she goes down, she could take Curtis with her. And that's something she can't let happen. So what does she do? She turns to Ava. Ava is as sharp as they come, but her advice is never without risk. She knows how to play the game, how to manipulate the pieces on the board to her advantage. But the real question is, can Portia trust her? Will Ava guide her toward a strategy that helps her escape this nightmare? Or will her solution come at an even greater cost? There's one thing for certain. Portia is running out of time, and if she doesn't act soon, she might not have a career left to save. Drew's transformation, the rise of a villain? Drew was once seen as one of the good guys, a man with integrity, a man who stood for something. But those days are gone. Slowly but surely, he has stepped further into the darkness, making deals with Sidwell and Selena Wu, aligning himself with people who don't play fair. The more power he gains, the less he seems to care about who gets hurt in the process. But what's his endgame? Is he being forced into this? Or is he fully embracing his role as a villain? If there's one thing we know about Drew, it's that he's always thinking several steps ahead. If he's playing this game, it's because he sees something in it for himself. But is there a line he won't cross? Or has he already crossed it? Lois and the cover-up that could ruin everything. Lois is playing a dangerous game, one that she might not be able to win. She spent so much time covering her tracks, making sure that no one finds out the truth. But here's the problem. Secrets don't stay buried forever. And now Lulu is closing in. Lulu's discovery about Brooklyn's baby isn't just shocking. It's catastrophic. And the worst part? It might not even be the biggest revelation. Because hidden beneath this secret is something even more dangerous. Geo. If the truth about Geo comes out, it could blow everything apart. And Lois knows it. That's why she's been so desperate to keep things under wraps. But the harder she tries to control the situation, the more it slips out of her hands. And now, with Lulu possibly discovering crucial evidence in Martin's hotel room, time is running out. The truth is coming. And when it does, there will be no turning back. The aftermath. What happens next? Secrets are like ticking time bombs in Port Charles. And right now, there are too many to count. Will Lulu expose Brooklyn's secret and destroy Dante's world in the process? Will Carly and Brennan ever get a chance to be happy? Or is their love doomed? How much more will Anna uncover? And will she be able to handle the truth? Can Portia escape the trap Brad and Selena have set for her? Has Drew really become a villain? Or is he playing a long game? And most importantly, how much longer can Lois keep her secrets before they explode? The answers are coming. And when they do, nothing will ever be the same. That's all for today, folks. Let me know your theories in the comments. What do you think will happen next? Who will survive the fallout? And who will be left picking up the pieces? Next, we're diving into a shocking secret that's been years in the making. One that connects some of Port Charles's biggest names in ways they never imagined. Betrayal, hidden truths, and long-lost ties are about to unravel in ways no one saw coming. So let's break it all down. Lulu's investigation, a bombshell discovery that changes everything. Lulu has always been relentless when it comes to searching for the truth, especially when it concerns her loved ones. This time, however, she's found herself entangled in a web that is far more complicated than she anticipated. Her search for answers has taken her down a dangerous path, leading her to break into Valentine's abandoned home in hopes of uncovering clues. What she never expected to find was evidence linking Martin to the entire mystery. As she pieces together the puzzle, suspicion leads her straight to Martin's hotel room, where she takes a bold risk by breaking in. What she finds shakes her to her core. Detailed notes from Martin's private meeting with Lois. But it's not just the existence of these notes that's shocking, it's what they reveal. The pages spell out an undeniable truth. Dante is a father, and he has no idea. Lulu now holds a secret that has the potential to alter multiple lives. And the question remains, what will she do with it? Will she keep the information to herself or set in motion a chain of events that could upend everything? Joe's true identity, the secret Lois kept from Brooke Lynn. Brooke Lynn has carried the burden of her past for years, but little does she know that the truth is even more complex than she imagined. What began as an innocent childhood friendship with Dante and Bensonhurst evolved into something much more one summer during their teenage years. Their fleeting romance ended abruptly, but not before it left a lasting consequence: Brooke Lynn's unexpected pregnancy. Fearful of the repercussions, she confided in only one person: her mother, Lois. Determined to protect her daughter's future, Lois orchestrated a closed adoption, ensuring that no one would ever know the truth. But what Lois never revealed, not even to Brooke Lynn, is that the baby wasn't placed with a random family. Instead, he was adopted by someone much closer to home. The child Brooke Lynn gave up so long ago has been living under her nose all along. That child is none other than Gio. Now, as Brooke Lynn wrestles with the idea of searching for the son she lost, she has no idea that the answer to her prayers has been right in front of her for years. Meanwhile, Lois, unable to hold back her growing anxiety, recently sought legal counsel from Martin, knowing full well that if the truth were ever to surface, the fallout would be explosive. Dante's memories, a past that won't stay buried. Dante may have moved on with his life, but lately, he's been unable to escape the echoes of his past. His brief but passionate relationship with Brooke Lynn, something he once considered a fleeting moment of youthful recklessness, keeps creeping back into his mind. However, it isn't just nostalgia fueling his thoughts. It's Cody's relentless prodding. Cody has been fixated on Dante's past with Brooke Lynn, often bringing up their time together in ways that make Dante question whether there was more to their connection than he ever realized. His conversations with Cody take a deeper turn, especially after they discuss the pain of grieving Sam, and how Dante has unexpectedly grown closer to Lulu. These emotions force Dante to reconsider his past choices, making him wonder if something meaningful could have come from his time with Brooke Lynn. And just as these memories begin to weigh on him, fate delivers a cruel twist. Gio walks in. The very son he never knew he had is right in front of him, and he has no clue. Every moment Dante has spent reflecting on what could have been will pale in comparison to the shock he'll feel when the truth finally emerges. What happens next? The stakes have never been higher, and the revelations waiting to explode will shake Port Charles to its core. Will Lulu reveal the truth about Dante's son, or will she keep it hidden? How will Brooke Lynn react when she realizes that her child has been part of her world all along? Can Lois continue to keep her secret under wraps, or will the pressure finally break her? And most importantly, what happens when Dante finally learns that he has a son? One thing is certain: the moment this truth comes to light, nothing will ever be the same. That's all for today, guys. Drop your theories in the comments. What do you think Lulu will do? Will Dante figure it out on his own, or will the truth blindside him? Next, we're diving into one of the hottest debates in the world of General Hospital: the controversy surrounding Cameron Matheson's portrayal of Drew Quartermaine. Fans have been vocal, opinions have been flying, and there's even speculation about whether the show's producers might be considering a recast. Is Drew Quartermaine's time in Port Charles running out? Let's break it all down. A character born from a twist. Has Drew Cain ever worked? Before we even get into Cameron Matheson's performance, let's talk about the very foundation of Drew Cain as a character. Many longtime General Hospital fans were skeptical from the moment the writers introduced him as Jason Morgan's long-lost twin brother. The entire premise of Drew's existence came out of necessity. Steve Burton was returning as Jason, and Billy Miller's character needed a redefined identity. Enter Drew Cain, a military man with a stolen past, suffering from the repercussions of a bizarre and overly convoluted memory mapping experiment. For some, the concept never fully landed. The idea of Jason having an identical twin he never knew about felt forced, and the storyline often leaned too heavily on sci-fi elements that left many rolling their eyes. The issue wasn't just the how of Drew's backstory, but why he needed to exist at all. Was he meant to be a true rival to Jason? A long-lost hero? A tragic figure? Over the years, the character has drifted between roles, never fully settling into a clear identity. And now, with Cameron Mathison in the role, fans are questioning whether he's the right fit to carry the character forward, or if it's time for General Hospital to go back to the drawing board. Cameron Mathison's take on Drew, a misfit in Port Charles? When Cameron Mathison first stepped into the role of Drew Quartermaine, fans were hopeful. Known for his work on All My Children and Hallmark movies, Mathison had a strong soap opera presence. But as time passed, more and more viewers started to feel like something wasn't quite clicking. One of the biggest complaints is that Mathison's version of Drew doesn't exude the complex layers expected of an anti-hero. Instead of bringing a brooding edge or a morally gray depth to the role, many feel that his portrayal comes off as too polished, too lightweight, or even in some cases too smarmy. That's a problem for a character who was initially designed to be Jason's opposite, a hardened soldier with a troubled past. Critics argue that Mathison hasn't managed to tap into the emotional intensity that the role requires. Some say his portrayal lacks the gravitas and rawness that made previous actors more compelling. Instead of feeling like a Quartermaine tangled in the drama of Port Charles, Drew comes off as an outsider who never quite fits in. And the internet, of course, has plenty to say about it. Fan reactions. A firestorm of opinions. Social media has been buzzing with reactions, and General Hospital fans haven't been shy about voicing their thoughts. Some believe the show should have just brought Mathison in as his All My Children character, Ryan Lavery. The crossover would have made more sense, they argue, especially considering how General Hospital has successfully blended characters from other soaps in the past. Others think Drew's role was doomed from the start, no matter who played him. One critic put it bluntly: the mere concept of Drew Cain, Jason's surprise twin brother, was and still is ridiculous. The secret itself, plus the idea of memory mapping, give me a break. It was a desperate plan B because Steve Burton chose to return, and the writers had to scramble for an explanation for this other Jake/Jason. Some viewers don't just take issue with the character's writing, they flat out don't like Mathison's interpretation. A particularly harsh comment read, "I never liked him on All My Children either. He just doesn't work for me in soaps. He's so smarmy, I can't even watch him in Hallmark movies anymore." Ouch. Of course, not all fans are against Mathison in the role. Some argue that he simply hasn't been given the right material to work with. The writers have struggled to define Drew's place in Port Charles, and his current storyline, whatever that even is, feels directionless. Maybe, just maybe, with a stronger script and better character development, Mathison could surprise everyone. Is General Hospital looking to recast Drew? With all the backlash, the big question remains, will General Hospital actually pull the plug on Mathison's version of Drew? So far, there's been no official word from the show's producers, and no clear signs of a recast on the horizon. But that doesn't mean the conversation isn't happening behind the scenes. Historically, General Hospital isn't afraid to make major casting changes when a character isn't clicking. They've done it before and they could do it again. But whether they will depends on two things. Can Mathison turn it around? If the show gives him a storyline that truly challenges him, perhaps something that forces Drew into an identity crisis, a dark spiral, or a shocking transformation, he might win over some skeptics. Is Drew even necessary anymore? With Jason Morgan potentially on his way back, rumors are flying. Does Port Charles even need Drew? If his only purpose was to serve as Jason's stand-in, and Jason is once again in the mix, it's possible that the show may decide to write Drew off entirely. For now, though, the producers are keeping quiet. General Hospital fans will just have to keep watching to see what happens next. Final thoughts. Should GH keep Mathison as Drew? So, what do you think? Is Cameron Mathison's Drew salvageable? Or is it time for General Hospital to hit the reset button? Should the show double down and try to make him work? Or should they admit that Drew Quartermaine has run his course and move on? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Drew is being written poorly? Or is Matheson just the wrong fit? Should General Hospital bring back Billy Miller? Or even recast the role with someone else? Or is it time to finally let Drew King go for good?